Hi Chookies, Cherylyn Barnsey. Listen, I live in Campbelltown, New South Wales, Australia. And lots of people have been asking me to do this YouTube, and it's called Draw My Life. So yeah, I've done it because lots of people have been asking for it. So yeah, my name is Cherylyn Joy Barnes. I have a beautiful family. I'm 58. I love angels. I'm in a witch group at Spiritual Centre. One thing I absolutely hate being called is a slut. So if you want me to smack you in the mouth, that's the quickest way you can get it. Just call me a slut. Let's go right to the start. It all started with my mum. She was gorgeous. She had beautiful long black hair and her name was Elsa. Well, she was with this bloke called Rob and they were crazy about each other and they got married. So anyway, he worked in the mines, so he would go away for weeks at a time. And so this one time, he was at the mines longer than normal, and so Mum was getting really sad and depressed and she'd cry every day. So then she met this bloke named John and they became real close and, Mum started doing the dirty on Rob with John, while he was away. He actually got her pregnant. So he got scared and he pissed off. Rob came home from the mines, found out she was pregnant and Mum didn't know what to do, so she just pretended the baby was his. So then along came this gorgeous baby girl, me, and Mum named me Cherylyn. And at the hospital, Rob was a bit confused because I didn't look like him and I didn't look like Mum. And my Auntie Barb was there as well, and she said, you know who she looks like? She looks like that John guy you were hanging out. Then Rob started asking all these questions about John and the truth came out and then Rob left. So Mum had to fill my name out on the birth certificate, and the whole time she was screwing around with John, she didn't think to get his last name, so she named me after Rob, and that's why my maiden name is Noyce. So then Mum started to go a little bit crazy and started sleeping with different blokes every few weeks. And then she got pregnant again, and the problem was she didn't know who the father was. So, she came full term and then she went to the hospital. So then Mum lost the baby at birth. But she named her anyway. She called her Rose. So then Mum was even more sad and depressed and she was that way for years. I remember this one day when I was real little, I would have just started school. Mum made this gorgeous chocolate cake and she just got it out of the oven and she left it on the bench so it could cool down. Well, when she left the room, I started picking at the bottom of it. I got a good chunk of the way through it and then I tried to put it down. Well, just as I put it down, Mum walked in and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." And she said, "What have you been doing?" And so she lifted the cake up and she saw where I'd been eating it. So then she flipped out and she grabbed the jug cord from the kettle and she started whacking me in the legs with it and trying to get me to admit it. And she said, "Did you do this?" And I was scared that if I said yes, she'd hit me harder. So I just kept saying no, which was making her even madder. And when she'd go mad, her face would go bright red. And then she started going really crazy and really belting me. I had all these welts all over my body. And then thank God Auntie Barb showed up, so she walks in and sees me roll up in a ball on the floor and Mum's whipping the shit out of me. Auntie Barb yelled out, "Fucking get away from her, Elsa, you're gonna kill her." So then Mum pulled a knife on Auntie Barb. And Auntie Barb said, "Go on, Elsa, stab me. If that makes you feel like a real big woman, then go and stab me." So then Mum started to walk towards her and Auntie Barb picked up a frying pan and clobbered her up the side of the head with it. So that knocked her out cold. Auntie Barb picked me up and took me to the police station. I told them everything, and then I started living with Auntie Barb, and give Mum a break so she could see a counsellor and whatnot and get better. So then I went and started living with Mum and things slowly started getting back to normal. So then when I was in high school, this one New Year's Eve, I decided I was going to lose my virginity. So I climbed up on the roof of this house of the New Year's Eve party and we were going to watch the fireworks, me and this boy. So we started going at it and this nail was sticking up out of the roof like a rusty nail. It jabbed me in the arse and there was blood everywhere. So my first sex life was ruined. Yeah, so as I got older, Mum fell in love with this Italian bloke named Nino. Yeah, and she was crazy about it. And then I noticed one day He was watching me through the doorway of my bedroom as I was getting changed, and then from then on I noticed he did it all the time, but I was too scared to say anything. And then one day he just took it too far, the dirty bastard. I looked and he was pulling himself, so I thought fuck this, and I went and told Mum. Well, she slapped me across the face and said I was just trying to ruin her happiness and that I just want attention, and she called me a liar. So at that moment, that was the saddest I've ever been in my whole life. So from then on, I guess Nino knew that I wasn't just going to shut my mouth. So he stopped doing it. And then one day he came home and he gave me some chockies and a plastic bag. And in the plastic bag there was this gorgeous pair of jeans in this beautiful bright pink little bikini bra thing. So he said, try those on and you can have them if you want. And I said, where'd you get them? He goes, doesn't matter. So anyway, I tried them on, I loved them. You know, it made me feel absolutely gorgeous. So I put them on and I was going to go to my friend Gloria's house. And on the way, I saw a poster on an electricity pole. Well, on the poster was a picture of this bird who'd gone missing a few months before. And it said, you know, this is what she was wearing the day she went missing. And I thought, hang on a minute. And I looked and it was exactly the same clothes that I was wearing that Nino gave me. So I went to the police. So what happened was, Nino was absolutely crazy and evil and sick. He was a big sicko, you know, so he kidnapped this bird, took her to an abandoned house and locked her underneath in a big cage. Well, he gave her a blanket so she wouldn't freeze at night, and he shaved her head, which was horrible because she had this long, gorgeous blonde hair, chained her by the neck like she was a dog and fed her dog food. So the police went and rescued her, and apparently she'd gone absolutely bonkers because she'd been there for months. So she had to go and get rehab and all this stuff. And later that day, Mum and Nino were actually making love in the house, and the police raided the house and put him in handcuffs and dragged him out, you know, stark naked. I still remember it, and even though he's a crazy sicko and all of that, I remember thinking his body's absolutely gorgeous, muscles everywhere. You know, so they put him in jail and we never heard from him since. You know, and even though the girl ended up growing her hair back, she still couldn't handle what happened to her, so she hung herself in her parents' backyard a few years later. So then a few years later, I'd gone out drinking with my girlfriends, and when I went home, I went inside, staggered upstairs, and the place was trashed, and Mum was standing at the back door with that red face that she gets. And I thought, here we go. And then she started blaming me for everything in her life that makes her sad. She blamed me for losing Nino, the love of her life. She said I was doing everything I can so I could sleep with him, and I was the reason Rob had left her, and my father John. And then she said I should have been the baby what she lost, not Rose. And then she said I'd done nothing but brought misery to her life, and it's my fault that she can't live in a world that has me in it. Then she sculled half a bottle of scotch, and she stood at the top of the back steps and jumped backwards and landed on her neck on the steps. Well, she cracked her skull open, you know, broke her neck and ended up dying of brain damage because she couldn't breathe because she snapped her spinal cord or something. So we had her funeral where I met Graham, who was the son of one of Mum's friends. So then I told him I was upset and could he take me home. I didn't want to go to the wake. I was too upset. So he said yes, and we got home and one thing led to another, and then we were making love for 3 days straight. Yeah, so then that didn't work out, and then I met Terry. And then we fell madly in love, and then the next thing I know, I was pregnant. So then I gave birth to a gorgeous baby. Thought it was a little boy at first, but it was actually a little bit of poo, so we moved it away and we saw we had little Femi. So we named her Desiree after Neil Diamond's song. So then we didn't want to have a baby out of wedlock, so me and Terry got married. And then a few years went on, and Desiree got older and she hooked up with Nathan. Then they had little baby Shakira. Then Desiree got a bit out of control and Shakira was taken. And I've got 2 gorgeous baby cats now. Little Angel Girl, and my little boy, Neil. Then I entered this competition at the library to win a MacBook Pro computer. Well, I won it, and then I forced Terry to get the net because I wanted to start YouTube because I saw the guy in a current affair had done it and he'd gone viral. So I thought, fuck this, that's what I want. So make sure you click subscribe and you'll see all the YouTubes what I've done and all the other ones that'll come out as well. And I also got obsessed with my Twitch site. So you can add that at Cherylyn Barnes. Hashtag draw my life, mate. And you can add my Instagram site as well. And that's the same as the Twitch site at Cherylyn Barnes. Yeah, so that's both of them at Cherylyn Barnes. And make sure you add me on my Facebook site too, and that is www.facebook.com/CherylynBarnesAU for Australia. Make sure you click thumbs up on this video, and let's leave it at that. Ciao for now, chookies. Lots of hugs and pussy kisses for all my chookies out there. I hope you enjoyed my Draw My Life YouTube.